congratulations, you've signed up for the JLPT N5. N5 is the lowest. I passed the N2, I want to say about 10 years ago. Oh, more, 15, almost. I passed the N1 a little while ago, a couple years ago, and the N1 is really hard. N5 is not so bad because you only need to know about 100 kanji. And I'm going to just go over it really quickly. If you want to know, there are ichinensei kanji, or first grade kanji. This is the one that really causes a lot of problems with kids who are taking the N5. They need to know the first grade kanji. So that's, ich, ni, san, shi, go, oh, good. Oops. Shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. So that's 10 right there. There's about 80. You need to know your days of the week. So nichi, getsu, ka, let's see, sui, moku, kin, and do. You need to know the on and the kunyomi of all of them. And again, this is what's really going to hurt you when you take the N5. A lot of people don't know one or the other. Like this is ohisama, so it's the sun. But it's also nichiobi, nichi. But it's also kyujitsu. So kyujitsu is a day off, right? And so they'll throw these kind of strange, readings at you and expect you to know them. So then we get natural things. Let's see. Yama, kawa. What else is there? Hana. We'll see. Rice field, ta. Hana. Let's see what else we got. We got ishi, kai, hayashi, mori, and things like that. You're going to have to know. Kuruma, the na and namae. You're going to have to know hito, kuchi, ashi, te. You're probably going to have to know ue, naka, shita. Let's see what else. You're probably going to have to know ito. And the reason why they teach these, like here, 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 the reason why these ones are so important is that they're the hen, the side character, in many, many other characters. So like all metal is going to have kin as its side character, as its hen. The same with ito. Ito hen is in a lot of other Japanese characters. Kai, the shell. Like, why do I have to learn a shell? Well, because kai is the one in kau, or to buy, right? It's in a lot of different characters. The same with ishi. Ishi's in a lot of characters as well, like iwa, right? So these basic ones are they construct other characters. So you're going to have to know a few other natural ones. So like ten, or ama, so the sky, u, or ame, rain, maybe inu, something like that. You're going to have to know dai, and you're going to have to know shou. So we're getting right there, we've got about 50 or 60. If you look up this first grade kanji, That's the important part. You're going to have to know also, to transition, you're going to have to know all the mas conjugations, the des conjugations. You're going to have to know the plain form, so the te form. So for example, you're going to have to know kaimasu, kaimashita, kaimasen, kaimasen deshita, right? You're going to have to know des, deshita, right? Or sorry, des, dewanai, or ja arimasen, deshita, and then dewa arimasen deshita, right? And then you're going to have to know the te form. So, kaimasu, katte, so like katte kudasai, katte mo ii desu ka, katte moraeba. So words like that as well. And then what else was on the N5? Of course, you're going to have to do listening. So it's, I mean, you can find online in certain places, catch my drift, Genki and other textbook listening MP3s. That's a very good place to start, because the MP3s that they are going to play at the N5 are going to be very similar to first year textbook MP3s, right? They even have the little doorbell sound when they do the listening exam. So a lot of those questions are going to be very similar. One really good exercise that's good is to practice phone numbers with numbers. That way you can practice it and hear the numbers quickly, because there's always going to be in the N5 some kind of number listening that they're going to test you on. The other thing, other than the kanji, the first grade kanji, is make sure you know your basic verb kanji. So, in other words, the basic verbs in Japanese are like taberu, right? Make sure that you can, make sure you can recognize taberu. Okay? Make sure you can recognize nomu, right? Nomu. Make sure you can recognize it. Make sure you can recognize hanasu. Okay? Make sure you can recognize hanasu. Make sure you can recognize kiku. Right? So these basic ones, or like kau, make sure you can recognize that they will put those in there. And I'm not really sure if they're going to have furigana, but make sure that you can recognize these really basic mas form verbs. So this is kind of the overall how to prepare for the N5. The interesting thing about the N5, unlike the N1, the N1 you have to have 60% to pass, or around 60 if there's 180 points, and 100 points is a pass. I think with the N5 it's almost like 40%. So as long as you are able to recognize a lot of these kanji, you can read hiragana, katakana fluently, and you got your grammar down. So you know that wa is the subject marker. You know that o is the direct object marker. You know ni is the directional or the time marker. You know de is the I use this to do this marker. And then also the permutations of it, no wa, and then also kara made, so from, until. And let's see if there's anything else. As long as you're able to do that, you should get about a 50 or a 60% and pass the N5. And that will be your first step towards getting to the N4, the N3, the N2, and the N1. So the N5 basically shows kind of that you have gotten maybe a 1 year of Japanese, like college level Japanese, done. Your N4 is more like a 2 year plus some. Your N3, the students that I've seen who have passed N3 are usually third years. The N2, you're looking at people who have passed maybe with a Japanese minor and spent some time in Japan. The N1 is the hardcore one, and that's, I've failed it a couple times, and I have a full-time job. I also don't have time to study for it. And a couple years ago, I had time to study, and I worked my butt off for it, and I got a pretty darn good grade for it. I got 151 out of 180. So good luck to you all. This is kind of the stuff that you need to know for the N5. I hope you do your best, work hard, and you should pass it. This is Matt Hodge, Japanese and English teacher. See ya.